we know what happened because we have your DNA at the crime scene.
Look at her. Look at her face.
Let me tell you something, Marty. Make sure you're telling the truth. This is the time to tell the truth.
Meet 14-year-old Jesse Stone, a young teenager who has just been caught committing the unthinkable to a 91-year-old woman. And as he is shown proof of his crimes,
This is a human being, and she deserves justice.
detectives will realize that sitting in front of them is one of the most vile teenagers they have ever seen.
The evidence can hurt you because there's a whole lot of it, and you created it all. And I don't even know if you're going to be allowed to come back to my house ever. There's nothing I can do to protect you. You're on your own against the courts.
Just before midnight on June 9, 2024, a 91-year-old woman in Reddick, Florida called 911 with a story straight out of a horror movie. An intruder had just entered through an unlocked door while she was sleeping and assaulted her in unspeakable ways. But authorities soon uncovered crucial evidence, and from an unlikely source, the perpetrator himself. As authorities canvassed the area, 14-year-old Jesse Randy John Stone stopped on his bike to provide a critical clue. He claimed a neighbor had security footage of someone wearing a distinctive NASA t-shirt near the house at the time of the crime, and hours later, the same person cycling past investigators at the scene. It didn't take long for police to make the connection. The figure in the video was Jesse himself, and wearing the exact same NASA t-shirt as when he approached them. The teenager had been hired in the past to mow the victim's lawn, who described him as a good boy who used to stop by and spend time with her when he was younger. He denied any involvement in the crime, but when a sample of his DNA matched one found on the victim's clothes, there was no denying that he'd done the unthinkable. Now detectives wanted to know why, and as he was taken in for questioning with his grandma beside him, his answers are as disturbing as the crime itself.
You can have a seat next to him there. Okay. And I'll be right back if you want.
Thanks.
Randy, did you want another water or are you okay with that one? Okay, we'll go down to your mom and we'll get that.
What's going on?
We just came out from school. They've told me nothing.
Did they ask you any questions, Phil?
Nothing.
They just told you to come with them and you went?
Well, they put me in handcuffs. What?
They put you in handcuffs at school?
All right, perfect. So this is my partner, Detective Back.
Hello. Hey, Michelle.
Yep.
Brian, nice to meet you.
All right, so I'm going to have a seat right here. Michelle, here's the water.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So again, Michelle, thank you so much for coming. And I know it's kind of a hassle getting your. I didn't realize that you got pulled over. Did you get a ticket?
Oh,
You got a ticket?
I was behind a guy for like 5 miles. It was going about 10 to 15 miles an hour. Where I came out at was a broken line, but then I was behind a tractor trailer. But when I come around the tractor trailer, there was no way to get back in. And then as soon as I pass the cop, I know he's going to get me. But it's done, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Well, that's not. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so this is when we were coming up here. You said that you had a timeline. That's what this is.
yeah,
Okay, and then what is this?
that's the car the timeline's on.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so this had all the footage.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, perfect. So, before I kind of really get into the nuts and bolts of it, I want to make sure that I have everything correct for Jesse as far as like your name and all that stuff. So I know we kind of went over it when I was out there earlier, but I just want to make sure I have everything crystal clear. Jesse, you call it Jesse or Randy? Which one do you want to go by?
Randy.
Randy. Okay, so your legal name is Jesse.
Correct.
Okay. Now is that J-E?
SSE.
Okay. Do you have a middle name?
Ernest Dwayne. It's 2 middle names.
Okay. E-A-R-N-E-S-T?
Sure, I think so.
Okay.
I have to look on his birth certificate to see what it is.
Gotcha.
His mother named her that.
Okay, gotcha.
The detective calls Michelle Jesse's mom, but she's actually his paternal grandmother, legal guardian, and the only person who ever seemed to care about him. Both of his parents had largely abandoned him as a young child, and while his mother returned for his sister when he was 5, he was left behind. Now the relationship had grown only more frayed. Because Jesse's mother had recently blocked him from seeing the sister he helped raise, a rejection his grandmother said sent him over the edge. But while she claimed that Jesse was well behaved throughout the years she cared for him, she saw a slow simmering rage bubbling to the surface, a rage that boiled over in the most shocking way imaginable.
Now, Jesse, I'm going to ask you some questions that might seem a little bit weird, but this is just to help me understand and to make sure that I'm on the same page as you. So, do you understand the difference between a truth and a lie?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what the truth means to you.
The truth is what actually happened.
Okay. And what's a lie mean?
Something that's made up or not true.
Okay. So we'll do a little bit of an exercise. Let's just say a boy came in here and colored on the wall and told his mom that he didn't color on the wall. Is that a truth or a lie?
It's a lie.
Okay. And if a girl came in here and ate an apple and told her mom that she did eat an apple, is that a truth or a lie?
Truth.
Okay. And do you promise to talk about things that are true and things that really happened today?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Me and my partner, Sergeant Pinder, had come out and we were kind of talking to some of the neighbors, and that's when we first met you. You were very helpful, and I know that you were kind of out riding around on your bike, and I think at one point you even came over to us while we were like south of Gainesville Road and told us to go back to one of the other neighbors' houses.
Yeah, Mr. Fred.
Yeah. So, and you remember that I talked to you about that. And do you remember what we talked about when I talked to you about what Fred told me?
You showed me the video of me walking down the road, and I forget exactly what happened. You, as you were talking, you noticed the red stains on my pants.
Mm-hmm.
You asked for if you can get a swab. I said yes. You came over. You had my grandma sign a form. You got the swab, and then that was about the end of that.
Okay. Do you remember that night? So when I showed you that video of you walking, so that would have been late Saturday night.
Yes.
Do you remember everything that you did that night?
Yeah, I couldn't go to sleep, so I got up and I headed down the road to watch the cars that are coming from the concert. I've watched them, the cars, looking for modified vehicles for a while, and then I went walking across the street for, I'm guessing, an hour before I came back to my house.
Do you know about what time it was when you first went out? So we're still on Saturday, so that would have been June, I think, 8th.
About, I'd say I went out about 10 or 12.
So like 10 p.m., I guess. What are you talking about? Okay.
And then I went across the street. I walked down, and then the road that I went and found you guys on, I was walking down that road, and I came back, and then I stayed in that little yard of trampoline for a while.
Okay.
And then I'd say about when the car started to dwindle, stop, I went back over and I walked around our property for a while because I was looking for one of my gloves because I remember I lost it and I couldn't find it. I went back to my room, went to bed.
Jesse describes an uneventful night of wandering the neighborhood alone, but hours earlier he was visiting the elderly woman who would soon become his victim. So as detectives began delving into the details of their relationship, it becomes clear she tried hard to be this troubled boy's friend, only for it to prove that no good deed goes unpunished.
Tell me about your talk with her on Friday. Do you guys remember what you talked about?
She asked me how school was doing. She asked, what I was interested in because it's been a while since I've been over there.
Did you ever go inside her house, like either to I don't know, use the bathroom or anything like that?
That's not the only time I go in her house is to use the bathroom.
But she's asking, have you ever been in her house?
Yeah, to use the bathroom.
Okay. So this particular time, so we're talking, this was Friday, so this was June 7th. Do you remember going in her house?
Yeah, right before I left, I went and used the bathroom.
You did? I mean, did you ever show her something on like an iPad that she has? on that particular time that you guys were talking? She mentioned something about you showed her something on an iPad, so I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah, yeah, she was getting interested about what I was talking about, and I showed her one of the channels I watch. I believe that specific time I showed her because I started talking about how a car company started making part of their cars out of carbon fiber, McLaren, and I showed her how the guy was rebuilding it because it was all destroyed in the middle. And actually, yeah, I went in the house to grab that too.
Gotcha. And where was that at? The iPad?
When you walk in.
Are we talking about from the kitchen or from the living room?
Alright, so we are on the front porch. We walk in through the kitchen.
Okay. From the porch door, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like a table next to the counter.
Okay, so in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I showed her the project that he was doing, and then I put it back in. We chatted for a bit longer, and then I came home.
Was there like a candy bar or like some kind of chocolate or something that she had on her, like in her kitchen?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you take that?
No.
No. Okay.
You better make sure you're telling the truth,
Just a chocolate
John.
bar, man.
Let me tell you something, buddy. Make sure you're telling the truth.
And like I said,
This is the time to tell the truth.
I don't look around.
If you're gonna get in trouble, you're gonna get in trouble, but be honest.
I don't look around and see this house.
Okay, I'm surprised. Excuse me.
Well, so
You get in trouble for this kind of thing a lot. This is why you're on restriction.
What's the
Electronic devices, when they don't belong to you, you keep touching them and taking things that don't belong to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why you're on restriction. So when she's mentioning that all over the place, I'm thinking that's exactly what he does at home.
I didn't even know it was there.
So make sure you're telling the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Make sure you're telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth.
I doubt man gonna tell a lie.
So Randy, I mean, listen, I don't care if you took the chocolate or not. I just want to know if that's something that happened.
No, I don't look around her house. If it was there, I didn't know.
Okay, but did you like eat a piece of chocolate from her house?
No.
No.
I ate nothing from her house.
Like I said, I mean, she really likes you, and is it Darian, your friend that lives across the street?
Yeah, Darren.
So I mean, she called you guys friends. So I mean, would that be, you think, an honest assessment of your relationship with her? Like, is she?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, tell me about her. So I've never really heard about her from your perspective. So tell me what kind of person she is.
She's just a really nice outdoor person. I've never had any arguments or anything with her.
Really? Has she ever like chastised you or yelled at you for like, I don't know, like did she ever fuss at you for anything? Like messing with anything, or even if she was maybe like cranky or in a bad mood about something? No?
No.
So you've known her for how many years now?
About 8.
Wow.
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, you're 14 now?
14.
Yeah, so over half your life. So, I mean, in 8 years, can you recall ever having, like, being mad at her about something or her being mad at you about something?
No.
No?
Did she ever make anything up? Kind of nothing?
No.
Anything out there off the wall or anything?
She's not that type of person.
She's not like the crazy old grandma that lived on the corner when everybody worked her?
No.
Well, that's good.
She's a person to be friends with.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, I will say, so in my interaction with her for this case, I mean, she's like the quintessential, like, grandma. Like, sweet, kind,
I like this one.
very, very, well, just basically a total gem of a person. Like, you know, she's the type of woman that you're like, man, if I'm even an ounce of as good as this person is when I'm her age, then I've accomplished my life goal. So, I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's just a good person.
Well, Randy Dunn, I think you probably know that I wouldn't ask that question unless I had a reason to.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna be honest with you because I mean I feel like you've been mostly honest with me, and I know your mom's been honest with me. Is it okay if I call you his mom?
Yeah.
Brody? Okay. I don't mean to.
It's okay. Yeah.
But when I came over to you on
Yeah.
I think that was Sunday, and I was asking you about your clothes and the video and such, and I explained that I wanted to get your DNA because I knew that you had been over there before because you mentioned, like you told us today, that you had talked with her. So I knew that at the very least there would be evidence of you being in the porch.
Yeah.
Right? So I went and met with your mom, and you guys signed a consent form, and we got your DNA.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we sent your DNA and the up to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, who does the testing and stuff for stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any reason at all that your DNA would be on her clothes?
Yeah, we when I said goodbye to her, we hugged. Like a slight hug.
Okay.
That's
Let me be a little bit more specific. Your DNA was on.
What?
And so I want you to really use this time here to be honest with me about what happened that night, because I think that we know what happened, and I think that your mom knows what happened because she also wrote down a list of times that you went in and out of the house that night, to include the time that the call came in. And I think you probably know that you wouldn't be in here unless we had a good reason to put you in.
I don't see. What?
It's not about C, Randy. It's truth.
Yeah,
Truth.
It's impossible for my DNA to be on her underwear.
That's what we like to think too, brother, but that stuff doesn't lie, that stuff doesn't get made up. Sometimes the truth can be hard. You seem like a really good guy, man. You seem like you got a good head on your shoulders, you have to make connections with people that need help, you go out there and you help other people. And there's people out there sometimes that make mistakes.
I'm gonna come over here and I want to
And
make sure.
that doesn't make you a bad person for making a mistake.
Until now, detectives have given Jesse a safe space to confess what DNA proves he did. But while he's naturally reluctant to give any details, he and Michelle are about to be shown the photographic evidence. Based on her reaction, she had no idea her grandson was capable of such a savage crime, and she's now forced to grapple with the knowledge that he's far more troubled than she realized.
But we just need to understand, like, who is Randy? Because I don't. And we don't think that was the intention. But we need to understand what happened now.
Randy, I want to be real clear with you. We know what happened. What I want to hear from your own words, everything that went on that night.
Holy cow.
I want to know why this happened.
Randy, help us understand that.
Randy, look at me for a second. You did this exact same thing when I asked you about you walking down the road or jogging down the road at 11 o'clock. And you did the whole, I don't remember, and I was like, bullshit. And you finally admitted to it. And I think this is the exact same thing. I know what happened. And it's only going to help you for you to be honest with me about what happened. Because like I said, we know what happened because we have your DNA at the crime scene.
Like she said, it's not like we're talking about a sweater that it was found on. It's in this elderly woman. What are you thinking, man? We're putting everything out here and you're kind of just looking at all this, man. I know it might be a shock, but what are you thinking?
I'm overly confused.
What are you confused about?
I wasn't even near her house. I was across the street.
you were gone.
Yeah. I said I was gone for about an hour.
Well, it so happens that you came back. Now, granted, this is notes that your mom told, but 43 minutes past midnight, you came from the outside with your shoes in your hand. Why were you holding your shoes? And don't forget that we have this. So I'm going to be able to corroborate everything she said.
Got a lot of people that got a lot invested in it.
I can't even believe somebody did that.
I think maybe Ryan and I can go step outside real quick and kind of go over our notes. Mom, I don't know if you want to have a couple minutes to talk with your son. Randy, I want you to think real long and hard about everything that happened. And I want to do this, listen, more than I want to have the truth from you about what happened, because I know that you know what happened, I want to do this for her. If she is as an amazing of a person as you say she is, and I believe you because I've talked with her, getting all of this out in the open for her is what matters. Okay? And the first step to that is for you to be honest with us about what happened. That's the first step for you as well. For you to be able to move on from this is to tell us what happened. But it starts with telling us what happened here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
While the details of Jesse's assault on his victim are too graphic to describe, Michelle's reaction to the evidence says everything we need to know. And now that she's been told the truth about her grandson's horrible crimes, she'll have a few things to say to him about it.
She deserves the truth to be told, and you know it. Personally, I can't believe that this is a horrible thing with you, John. That's a horrible thing.
I don't even have the ability to do that.
Well, it's hard for me to believe too. It's really hard for me to believe too that you would do a thing like this.
I didn't.
But how many times have you been caught in lies?
I know.
And this is the whole reason why you're on restriction. It's because you're not telling the truth about things. If this woman deserves to have the truth, she deserves it, and you know that.
What?
And don't say why's ready, because why doesn't exist here.
I wasn't at her house.
Ready? It's across the street. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her face.
I don't even think like that.
I've never seen you hurt anybody, but
I don't want to hurt.
what the hell are you doing outside at that time of night? It doesn't make any sense. You understand? Ready? It doesn't make any sense. There's a million different things you can do. Being outside where you don't belong, and you know you don't belong out there.
I'm sorry, but I'm an outdoorsy person.
You're not an outdoorsy person. You're a sit in front of the TV kind of guy.
But I don't have TV. I'm outside.
Well, I don't know. I hope and pray you did not do this to this woman.
didn't.
I hope and pray. I hope and pray you did not do this. Because this is horrific. This is a human being. And she deserves justice. She does. If this would have happened to your sister, what would you do?
Murder whoever.
If you know anything about this, Reddy, for her at least, if you care about her, tell the truth. Tell the truth. We've been down that road before where you've been lying about something. And you swear up and Randy, you've lied about stuff before. You've lied and you screamed at me, you slammed doors and swore up and down you were telling the truth. Remember, I tell you over and over and over again, don't tell lies, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to create a bad reputation. And then when you do tell the truth, nobody's going to believe you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Here we are. Here we are. I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt right now that you did or did not do this. I don't think that you did, but I can't prove it. And I already told you the evidence can hurt you because there's a whole lot of it, and you created it all.
Mom, are you okay with us talking with him? With just us?
Yeah.
He's got
I get my water bottle.
I'll get you one if you need it. You want another one?
With Michelle out of the room, detectives hope Jesse will be more forthcoming about what he's done. And while it takes a little more convincing, it won't be long before his story begins to change.
Ready? Listen. I know that this looks bad. Did you go over there to kill her, or would you?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, were you just... I know this can be kind of embarrassing to talk about in front of your mom, so that's why I wanted to kind of give us some space to just, you and I to talk. What I want to know... How did this happen?
I wasn't over there at all.
Buddy, listen. Buddy, look at me. I know you were there, okay? We gotta move past that. I know that you were there. I just want to know what happened. Like, I think that maybe you just, maybe you were tired of being on restriction. I don't really know about the relationship between you and I'm gonna call her mom, but grandma. Maybe you're tired of her fussing at you or whatever it is that she does. I mean, I know that, again, you guys don't always have the greatest relationship, but maybe you were just, like, angry. Y'all got into it you and your grandma, maybe y'all got into a fight, I don't know. And for whatever reason, you came over to her house, and then this happened. Maybe you were just thought you could just go over there and you were just trying to see what she would do, what would happen. I don't know. I mean, you gotta help me, dude.
I just got done talking to your mom, and she said that, I mean, you're 14, right? I think every 14-year-old's kind of had some thoughts about what a woman's like and things like that. And I heard that you've been kind of exploring some new. Is that what's going on, man? Because the thing is, Grandma's got no reason to lie to me, and you have no reason to lie to me about that either. That's totally normal and totally fine. So is that something I heard you taking Grandpa's phone and taking a look at that?
No, I don't do it on Grandpa's phone. I haven't been able to do it since I had my computer because she takes everything away.
Yeah. Well, is it true that you were looking at some of that stuff? Like I said, it's totally normal, man. Okay. And like I said, and I think like Detective Hardigan said, it's totally normal to want to find out about these things, especially for someone. It seems like you really truly cared about this woman, and maybe you just wanted to figure out what was what, man.
While the detective describes Jesse's viewing habits as normal, his consumption of adult content had grown steadily compulsive over the years, ever since his father first introduced him to it at a young age. And even though he claims to be his victim's friend, prosecutors later argue he sought her out for the sole purpose of using her tablet to feed his compulsion, and did so again just minutes before the crime. So with Grandma now out of the room, Jesse finally begins his confession.
I don't really know what happened.
Okay, well, let's start from the beginning. What time did you go over there?
I honestly don't know because it's a bad habit I have not looking at time.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't know, that's fine. So, did you come into the kitchen door or the living room door or something else?
That was a side door.
So is that the porch door or is that the
Living room had the piano.
the living room door? Okay, and then what happened?
I was just kind of looking around at first.
Okay. Where were you when you were looking around?
Kind of living room, kitchen, hallway, like the middle area.
Okay. And then what?
I saw Miss Edith laying down. I went to go see, make sure she's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't move at all. I went back out to the kitchen. And I forget exactly what I did.
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
That night's just a blur.
Sure. What happened after the kitchen?
I decided to go make sure that my grandma was not in my room.
Okay.
I think that was the first time I went back to my room.
So you went from his house back to your house? Okay.
Then I stayed in my room, I think for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Then I think that's when I went across the street.
And then what?
I was over there for, I think, anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes, and I came back to my house. I was very cautious because the kitchen light was on.
At your house, you said? Okay.
And I was kind of snuck back into my room. I was there for, I don't know. I don't know how long I was in there. But then I went back over to Miss Edith's house.
Mm-hmm.
I sat on the couch for a second.
Okay.
And tried to just think of if there's anything quiet you could do. Then I heard some movement in Miss Edith's room and I peeked around the corner. I think she was just turning over. And I just kind of went and sat outside the living room door for a little bit.
And then what happened?
I went back inside to get the grandpad to watch some videos. And then, as I was getting it, I heard more movement from her room. So I quickly put it down and went to make sure she was still asleep. And then she turned over, awake. She said something. I don't know what she said. But I grabbed her, put it over her face so she couldn't see it was me. And she tried to take it off, but I just held it there so she couldn't pull it away. And then she grabbed my shirt right here. And I was like not squeezing her hand, more of just pulling it trying to get her hand off my shirt.
You say anything to her?
No, I thought it was quiet the entire time, I believe.
Okay. No, I haven't.
I don't exactly remember it.
What's the next thing you remember?
Bolting through the field
Behind your house?
next to the house.
Okay. Where did you go?
My room. I'm back in my room.
Jesse's confession isn't exactly a full one, at least not yet. But now that detectives have got him talking, they're determined to keep him going. So after summing up what we've learned so far, they'll begin asking far more confrontational questions, and the answers are even more disturbing than anyone could imagine.
Why'd you put the in her mouth?
So I didn't want her to. She's shaking.
Was she screaming?
She's trying to say something.
What were you watching on the iPad? You said something very specific that you were watching videos. Tell me about that.
Just YouTube videos.
You sure about that? Because what I find hard to believe is that you can tell me what kind of videos you were watching. They were YouTube videos, but you can't tell me what happened after you put them in her mouth. I think you were watching something else on that iPad. I need you to be honest with me, Randy. Sometimes the hardest part of the story is the thing we give the least detail about. And I can understand it, man. You're 14, you have so much more of your life to live. But what we need to understand, man, is we need to understand the truth. And I think you're telling most of the true story here. I think you're conveniently leaving some parts out. And I think anybody would do the same thing in your situation. But man, like I said, do you want to be the Randy John that tells the truth, the Randy John that cares about it? Because I know you are. And sometimes when we're in this tough situation, we gotta say some tough things. It deserves that. You'd agree, right? So what were you watching on that iPad?
First I was on YouTube and then I went to one of the things.
Okay. How long did you watch that for?
I don't know, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. What were you watching? Do you remember? Yeah, we work these kinds of things all the time, so there's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna make us bashful. What were you watching?
No, I don't remember exactly.
I remember being 14 at one point, man. I know we don't forget stuff like that.
What happened to her underwear? How did it end up on the floor?
I don't remember anything after that.
You do. We both know you do. All three of us know you remember. Don't do that, Randy. You know exactly what happened. Because I guarantee this has been eating you up. You're not the kind of guy, or at least I hope you're not the kind of guy that does this kind of stuff. You've never done this before, right?
No.
You're not the kind of guy that breaks into the house, crap out of her, and just leave her sitting there, are you? So I know this has been eating you up. I know you can tell me every single moment. I'm sure you could tell me what the room smelled like when it happened. the taste in the air. I'm sure you can tell me all that, and I'm sure you've been wanting to tell somebody about this because it's probably been eating at your heart, man. So I know it's in there. I need you to take this off your heart, man. So I don't buy the whole I don't remember, because I know you remember. I don't think you're some cold-hearted killer that doesn't remember, because we deal with those kinds of people too, man. But I don't think Randy is that guy. So tell us what happened.
What's the first thing that happened when you got into the room?
When I first got into the room, she was turned on her side.
She turned on her side, is that what you said?
No, she was turned on.
She was on her side.
Okay. And then what?
And just kind of stepped forward to make sure she was still asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if she heard me move, but we saw in the corner of her eye that she turned. Like just her head, she turned. And that's when I put the pillow on her.
Okay.
Then what happened?
She was trying to move the pillow in her, so. And she started grabbing my shirt. That's when I let one of my hands off the pillow to try and get her hand off my shirt. And she was able to move the pillow.
And then what happened, buddy?
She tries to get up, and I think the first time was when I was trying to get her back down.
What do you
My hand, I thought she was still like laying down, but she was sitting up, so my hand was pretty quick. I'm not sure where I got, but
did you have like a bigger fist, or was it like a slap, or?
I think it was more of a slap.
Okay.
Because I was trying to put my hand back where it was on her mouth.
Okay. You said that was the first time that you hit her? What about the next time?
It was the first time. I started trying to find something I could use to wrap her arms up.
Did you find anything?
I was trying to get the blankets I could. She kept moving her arms around. I couldn't quite get them, or I could wrap them with the blanket.
And then what happened? I know this is gonna be hard, man.
I don't remember if I wrapped her arms with my arm or if I rolled her over. I don't remember what I did.
Up until now, the detectives have been dancing around the true horror of Jesse's crimes, and while the elephant in the room has been too awful to mention, they're now about to confront it outright.
Randy, what did you present? Did you? Okay. But were you on top of her? Okay. Did you try to touch her? Did you take?
No.
How did it?
Of what?
I'm not sure if it was the way I was on top of her. I don't know.
All I know is Randy.
You don't know what? Help me understand.
You could have just left, but you stayed. You put the
Because I
pillow
was
on. You put.
freaking
I
out.
understand you freaked out.
When she woke up, she grabbed my shirt.
I believe that. 100% believe that. What I'm trying to understand is how a 14-year-old young man goes from watching her in the living room and probably was, and that's fine, totally natural, to going into this old woman's bedroom and then progressing her up and putting her arms behind her back. I don't think that's how you planned on it going down. I think you did panic. I think that's reasonable. But I want to know that you're telling me the truth. We deal with this kind of stuff every day, man. Like I said, this doesn't make you a bad person. But I want to understand the truth, man.
And Randy, you also need to remember we've already talked with. She remembers everything that happened.
And we generally don't ask questions that we don't have the answer to, right? And I think you're being mostly honest with me, except for the parts that you just don't want to relive, man. And I don't want you to relive them either. But like we said from the beginning, man, from the jump, we're not doing this for us. This isn't about the sheriff's office. This is about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a true reaction out of you when you saw those pictures, because I know you're not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think you meant to hurt her that
No.
bad.
I think you went in there with maybe hormones got the best of you, and you were thinking with the wrong part of your body for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, man? I think every teenager has been there. I think you were just kind of caught in a bad situation.
I never had the intent to have any with him either.
And what was your intent?
I just needed a place where I wasn't under such control. I can't go anywhere in my house without needing to watch my cameras.
Yeah, your grandma pretty much had you in lockdown. I get that. Randy, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you go inside her?
No.
Okay.
Realizing there's no way out of this, Jesse finally gives in and confesses to his sick crime. But now the detectives know what he did. They want to know why. What led him to enter an elderly woman's home while he knew she was sleeping? And had he done this before?
One thing I'm still a little bit kind of unclear about it. What was the original reason that you went to her? Like, why did you go into her house that night? What were you planning to do?
Just chill somewhere where I wasn't being watched and I didn't have to quite be outside.
Okay, so were you planning to use her iPad?
Planning, no, just something that came to mind when I was there.
Sure.
Kind of an opportunity deal.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when you were watching the stuff? Okay.
How many times have you gone into Zita's house like this? Kind of in the middle of the night?
That was the first time.
And
every other time that I've been walking outside, for the most part, just chilling outside, either in the backyard or across the street.
Have you tried her doors before?
No,
because it's kind of odd that the first time you got in was the night she left the door open. Explain that to me. Because I know when I talked to Detective Hardigan before we came and talked with you, you made a statement to them about how she always locks her doors.
Yeah.
So help me understand that right now. One night she leaves the door unlocked. You make it inside.
I went over there the first time, and I decided to see if the door was open. But I didn't go to that door first. I went to her sliding doors on the other side of the house.
Right.
The porch door?
No. Yeah. Next to the kitchen counter, next to the table. It's like,
I see what you mean.
yeah, that's like blinds there.
Yeah.
I tried those doors first and they were locked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I went to the kitchen window and I tried to see if that would open. And it did no good.
So, good.
Because what I'm trying to understand, man, is I think have you thought about doing this for a while? I didn't even cross your mind once. So I find that hard to believe. If it's like going and buying a lottery ticket, and the first time you buy a lottery ticket, you won. You know what I mean?
No, this is the first time I've been in her house at night.
Very specific thing that occurred in there. And like I said, we could kind of tell that you weren't telling us the truth earlier. And now that you told us the truth, it's what it looked like. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a bad person, Randy John, but I'm just trying to understand, man. I know you went in there for a purpose. So what I want to hear is, I want to know, is Randy the guy that's going to tell me the truth when he's in a bad situation? When it's hard to talk about something, or if he's just some guy who just doesn't care about it, and just, you know what, she was just a thing. But I don't think she was just a thing to you.
I think we can agree, Randy, that you didn't go in there with a rope or anything like that to like tie her to the bed or anything, right?
No.
You didn't go in there with a gun to try to threaten her or anything like that. You didn't go over there and put a blanket over her head or something like that to suffocate her. I mean, I know we talked about the pillow, but you didn't go in there with handcuffs or anything weird. Would it be safe to say, or would it be accurate to say that you had an opportunity and you took it?
Yeah.
Now that Jesse's finally copped to his crime, it's time to face the consequences. Although he was just 14 years old, he was tried as an adult. He was ultimately convicted of burglary of a dwelling with battery and sexual battery, and received a 25-year prison sentence followed by 30 years of supervised probation. As part of that sentence, he is required to register as a sex offender and complete court-ordered counseling, including anger management. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.